Is it strange for you when you are the news?
Yeah, it is strange. And I think because I'm on television, people think that that's a place that I like to be. But actually, I'm much more comfortable being the light for someone else's story.
We caught up with Lara Logan here in New York City, one of America's top news hubs, a place where Logan says the vast majority of journalists are doing their readers, listeners, and viewers a grave injustice.
The truth is that most of my career, I never even noticed there was a liberal bias because I was part of it. And I just mean that in the sense that I grew up very liberal, and so it wasn't noticeable to me. And when most of the people around you share your opinions, you're not so aware of all the people who don't.
For much of her 30-year career, Logan says she often argued with people who repeatedly asked why the media is so liberal. When did you personally feel or discover this liberal bias? When did it hit you?
When I was attacked for the Benghazi story, that was really when it hit me, because suddenly I was being accused of being conservative.
She's talking about a story she reported for 60 Minutes. After it aired, she realized her main source wasn't credible.
We realized we had been misled, and it was a mistake to include him in our report.
Her report raised serious questions about the Obama administration's response to the attack on the American consulate and came as Republicans demanded answers. Logan says it's fair to say she was naive about wading into a political firestorm, but insists her approach was objective. The media tore into her.
People tried to say that it was politically motivated. The fact that we even did that story was a political decision. And that was a shock to me.
Now she's speaking out, not as an activist, but as a journalist, telling the story of liberal media bias.
This battlefield is in some ways more frightening than any battlefield I've ever been on, out, in some distant, faraway land.
While the mainstream media dismisses conservative outlets as biased, she says liberal outlets get a free pass, and anyone who dares to challenge them is quickly shamed.
Why are people trying to undermine that? So that my voice won't be heard, so that I can be sidelined and dismissed as some kind of right-wing lunatic conspiracy theorist and nobody has to pay attention to what I'm saying? Are they trying to take the credibility that comes from all the years of work, decades of work, from being out there on the field in the middle of the story? It's very, very hard because it costs a lot. Personally, they'll try to destroy your career so that you can never work again, so that you can't feed your children, so that it's very difficult to survive. I mean, this is not a small thing.
You have become a bit of a conservative darling. Are you comfortable
for the moment
in that space?
I'm a conservative darling for the moment. Am I still a conservative darling if the facts lead me somewhere else? If the conservative side dominated the political spectrum, I suspect you'd see a lot of the same things that you're seeing on the left right now. Because dominating the information space, dominating the political space, dominating anything, in my experience, doesn't typically bring out the best in us.
Is it hard for you to watch the news, to read the news?
You're going to get me into all kinds of trouble here. Yes, I don't. I rarely watch it. It's painful. It's painful. It's so annoying. I tried channel surfing. I flick between all the different channels just like a lot of people do.
I wonder what you think about fake news.
Well, when something sticks, it's usually because there's a degree of truth to it, right? It's not just an issue of being true or not true, because sometimes you can take little pieces of the truth and you can stitch them together in a way that creates a whole that is very dishonest and very deceptive. So I see that happening all the time. Every time I pick up a newspaper, every time I read something online, every time I turn on the television, I see that happening. And that, to me, is the real source of fake news.
She's not sure why the truth is threatening. But she's certain the news business can turn itself around.
If we accept that it's unwinnable, if we accept that nothing can be done, then nothing will be done. But everything can be changed. Nothing is permanent. And it starts by standing up and being honest about it and encouraging other people to do the same.
And while Logan weighs her next move, she says one thing is certain: she'll always remain dedicated to the truth. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, New York.